I want to talk about perhaps one of the best parts of this journey, and that's Sybil. And I want to talk about when you met and that plane ride.
Yeah, Sibby. It's probably about the best part of the story, eh? It's what makes that pain worthwhile. So I'm flying back and forth at this stage. It's about 3 years into my treatment, and I had 5 years in Melbourne in total. And I'm about 3 years into it, and I'm flying back and forth, and I'm sitting on the plane, and the whole plane's full, ironically, and there's one seat between me and this girl. And she's a beautiful girl, blonde girl. And I start talking to her. I say, hey, how are you? Because I'm feeling better now. I'm engaging with people. I say, hey, how you going? You know, what are you up to? She goes, oh. She had like a German accent. I said, oh, where are you from? She said, oh, Switzerland. Oh, cool. What are you doing? She's just backpacked around New Zealand, done a yoga training course and done all these cool things. And now she's going over to Australia to do another yoga course and backpack around. And we got conversing, had a great conversation. And then I asked her what she did. No, she's asking me what I did in Melbourne. What am I doing? What am I doing? I said, I'm going to see my brother, and he was living there at the time. And I got told her that's the truth. And then I asked her, what do you do in Switzerland? What do you do for a job? And she's an oncology nurse, a cancer nurse, out of all things. I said, oh, wow. So I thought, I'll tell her the truth. I'm actually going over here for this special treatment, ECP. Have you heard of that before? And she said, no, I've never. So I sparked. I say in the talks, I said, I don't recommend this as a pickup line, but I said to her, do you want to come and see some cancer treatment? Do you want to come and see it? And she's like, oh, yeah, sure, cool. And I was like, yeah, right, whatever. I said, that's great. So meet me at Parliament Building at 9 a.m. My treatment was at 10. And, yeah, we'll go from there. That's the next day. And I didn't think she'd turn up. I really didn't. You know, she's doing her thing. Like, who wants to come and see 3 hours of ECP, my blood taken out and put back in? But she was there. She turned up. And it's one of my big values is when you say something, you back that up. And she backed up her word. And to this day, I've probably had over 250 treatments. And it was the only time to this day that it was delayed.
Really?
It was, yep, true. And it was delayed to 1 p.m. So unfortunately for her, we had to spend the morning together. So we shot down to Vic Market. We got a coffee, sat there for a bit, and we had a lot in common. Great convo. She came back and watched the treatment. She spent the whole day with me. And then we got messaging, and we spent the week together. And yeah, shared our first kiss in Fitzroy Park up the top there. And we talk about health, but the relationships that we forge, it's the foundation. And I talk about all these holistic practices, yeah? But having her by my side and finding her, you know, I found my true worth. She brought the best out of me, you know? I want to give you an example of what this girl is and what she's done. You know, at the time I was flying back and forth to Melbourne, getting treatment. I had no job. I was on $272 on a sickness benefit. I was living at home with my mum and dad. She chose to come over and be with me. She's a special, special person. And yeah, we've been together for over 5 years now, and we got married. And bit of laughter here from that collection, sperm sample collection. Wasn't too bad after all. Maybe Sibs was just quite fertile, but yeah, we had a young daughter, Maya Hannah, after our bone marrow donor. You know, and I'm truly blessed for what I have in my life right now. And we spoke about it at the start. You know, how are you? Got that perspective of where I've been through. We've spoken about all that, but what I have in front of me, this amazing woman, this daughter, you know, here I was about to take my life and got the opportunity to give life, put life back into the world. She's a beautiful wee girl, and you know, I spoke about it before, the people that we connect with, the people, that's the foundation of health. So that's why I try to see the heart within people, see the good, see where they've been through the turmoil, the chaos. And that's why I love doing these ice bath workshops and seeing that spirit come out in people, seeing that capability that we can pull ourselves to base camp and back with our own backpack, because we're capable of more than we think. And going through that 10 years of arduous physical pain, mental pain, but having found that quintessential love from my wife and daughter, the nurses, my mum, all that, I don't let that go. I hold on to that for dear life, because that's all I've got when I've got nothing else. So
we've been in touch with Sybil, and she's shared with us a few yarns, and you talk about perhaps not being the most attractive option for her at the time. I think anyone that's listened and got this far through the episode will see exactly what she saw in you. Like the spirit, the man you are is just incredibly captivating. But you said you were surprised she turned up. She gave us another reason why she was hesitant about perhaps turning up. She said there was a bit of an odour on the plane, and she couldn't quite put her finger on what it was until she discovered it. Do you know what this is?
You got to wonder why she stayed with me. You really do after this. I mean, so I'm on the plane, and you know my feet cramp up as I spoke about, and I take my shoes off. I take my shoes off, and I've got stinky feet, real bad. But I didn't care beforehand. Like, I'm talking to this beautiful girl, and yeah, she's they reeked her out because she's got a really, really good nose, sensitive smell. Like, she knows when something's off, even the most skewed piece of smell. So, yeah, she eventually told me, she's like, I seriously was contemplating not coming to be with you because you had stinky feet.
Amazing guy, like, yeah, holy shit, this guy, but those feet.
Yeah, mate, she's Swiss, she's clean to a T, so I've got to keep everything clean. She's up my game on cleanliness. Yeah, she's amazing. So she's told me that, she goes, I was seriously contemplating not being with you because of your feet, but no, she she enjoyed the odour, and yeah, she's been by my side. So
yeah, they say like attracts like, right? So if you see all those amazing qualities in her, it's easy to see why she's chosen you as well.
Yeah, it's hard to comprehend at that time. I mean, I look at it from anyone's aspect. If you met someone who's getting life-saving treatment, living at home with their mum and dad, no money, $272 and stinky feet, you're probably not going to go there. Chances are it's lower survival rates than what I had with cancer. But she stuck on.
Had you closed the door on love and finding someone at that stage?
Yeah, such a good question, because I had a previous girlfriend before that, and I don't really go into that too much, but that's another story in itself. A lot happened there, and I did close that door. And I said to a good friend, I said, fuck, push them aside. I'll wait till someone comes into my life and wants to be with me and they see me for who I am, and I waited for that girl. So, yeah, great question. It's got a whole different story in itself. But yeah, I did close that door.
As we get towards the end of the journey, I want to bring in, we've got a few voices to bring in. I'm going to read a few things of the impact that you've had on others. So we spoke to Rachel, your sister, and I'm just going to read what she sent us. She said, "It was so hard as a younger sibling watching your older brother, who in my eyes had always been so strong and tough, to then be in a situation where he was so weak and powerless. And then when he did overcome his cancer, he was a completely different person, not just in his physical appearance, but also his personality, his beliefs, his priorities. So there was a time there that I went through a bit of a grieving process because he was no longer the brother I had known for 21 years. He was different, and we had to get to know each other again as this new version of Josh. He's been the Josh before cancer, the Josh during, and the Josh after. Mr. Split Personality, lol. But it was an absolute privilege to walk beside him during the journey, and it's definitely changed our whole family unit for the better. So the first part to reflect on is the changing of that family unit and the dynamic, and we've spoken about how it's brought you closer to your dad, but everyone is obviously intertwined in this journey you've been on. And can you just talk about what that's like now?
So during the journey itself at Ranui House, everyone had a part to play there. Rachel sacrificed her flat and come and looked after me. I pushed Mum away, and when I was in Melbourne, my brother was there as my caretaker. I called him the caretaker. He was there holding my hand. He became my big brother. I couldn't do much. I've seen so much pain inside myself and seen so many tears, and those tears have brought us together. And that's why I think pain serves a purpose, and really collaborating a family and friends together. It's the authentic thing that binds us together, and we found true love, and we really understood one another for our own individual differences. Because me and my sister, we are different, but what brings us together is that deep love. And when everything was lost, my family was always there, no matter about our differences. And we spoke about love before. When I broke up with my previous girlfriend, my sister was the first one I confided in. I flew over to Brisbane to see her. I'm a brother, 7 years younger than me, looking after his big brother, who took him for his first step down the hallway. The family just was more cohesively together, and got to understand my dad and my mum, that quintessential mum, that love that resonated out within the family just grabbed us together and held us together as a family, and it did bring us closer. And it's like Jake's doing his thing, Rachel's doing her thing, but what holds us together is that love that's endured and been exposed through that hard, chaotic time.
Hard and chaotic is right. And I want you to reflect now that those that are here that have heard the journey. We spoke about it at the start, and Ruth mentioned it, suffering. You've suffered. You have been to the depths of the worst things that anyone has ever been to, and you've come out the other side, and you're grateful for it. Can you talk about suffering and your position on it?
Yeah, it's such a interesting question to ask, and I think about this so often. But it comes back to Viktor Frankl for man's search for meaning. For me, it's finding meaning within your suffering. And if the world was perfect and everything was great, we wouldn't take those small opportunities. We wouldn't embrace them as what we would. And I've never felt authentic care when I've been on my deathbed. A handhold is different when you succeed in running from when you're essentially dying. It's tighter. It's more firm. It's the fabric. It brings that true love out, that someone cares for you. Like I found my dad when I saw him cry. Without that pain, without that suffering, I don't feel that we find true humanity for what it's worth. And I see a lot of people give for causes where people need, and a big part of that is giving back, and so many people have given to me to help me through what I've been through in such an authentic manner that I've really found their true inner spirit. And that pain, that suffering brings out the best in people. Not like running a race and finishing in the fastest time, but the best in people of what their human spirit is. Because we take people as face value sometimes. And when I've been on my deathbed, when I've been in complete pain and suffering, I've seen that wonderful human spirit, that heart in people, bringing out the best in me to say, hey, keep going, Josh, keep going. So that suffering brings purpose, and that comes back to Viktor Frankl, what he talks about in logotherapy. There's always meaning within our suffering, and the meaning is love. And we have to hold on to that.